For 20 years, fans of Suzuki's DRZ 400 series have been waiting extremely patiently for a meaningful update. Finally, Suzuki has answered the call with two new models, the DRZ 4S, which is the dual sport version, and the DRZ 4SM, which is a supermoto version. Under the hood, both models retain Suzuki's 398cc engine. This is something that probably a lot of us would like to have seen more aggressively updated, but they did do a lot of really serious upgrades to it. So it's been modernized to meet the Euro 5 standards. So we've got fuel injection, dual ignition, titanium intake valves, sodium-filled exhaust valves. And this setup, combined with some new cam profiles, which increase the intake lift and optimize some valve overlap, boost performance while keeping the characteristic of the original engine. One notable upgrade that we are not seeing here is a 6-speed on the transmission. Aside from the carburation on previous models, the lack of an extra top-end gear was one of the biggest drawbacks. Now on to some of the specs on the engine, right? So we're looking at about 38 horsepower at 8,000 RPM, 37 Newton meters of torque at around 6,500 RPM. That puts a lot of the power kind of more on the top end. But it's a really good amount of power for having a fun and nimble ride, and even better yet, the weight is low. So with the DRZ 400S, we're looking at about 151 kilograms. That's about 322 pounds, and a couple more pounds for the SM. The seat height is slightly high for what a lot of people would like to see in a wide spectrum rider-friendly model at 36 inches. It's hard to avoid this if you want a lot of ground clearance and big wheels. The chassis and subframe are heavily updated. Suzuki has introduced an aluminum subframe and a rear swing arm. The suspension, especially on the DRZ 4S, features a golden upside down KYB fork, and the front and rear suspension give a lot of travel at around 280 millimeters, that's about 11 inches, and 296, that's just shy of 12 inches on the rear for the S. Slightly less for the SM. Now let's think about the wheels and the tires. The DRZ 400S comes with a 21-inch front, 18-inch rear wheels, while the SM comes with 17s front and back. Some other creature features and tech bits that are on there for tech lovers are both models are bringing in finally some modern electronics. We've got ride-by-wire coming, for the throttle. There are a few different ride modes. Mode A gives the most power, while Mode C keeps things kind of mellow for newer riders. Also, we are looking at fuel injection here, which is another huge change from the previous generation. The bike also does come with actually traction control. That includes a gravel mode, which is great for off-road stuff. ABS is standard on both, but the coolest part is you can turn off the ABS on the rear wheel. For the 4S, ABS can be fully disabled on both front and rear, and this is a first time from Suzuki. In terms of style, Suzuki kind of really kept it classic. They have obviously done a lot of updates. We've got edgier looking, bold new plastics with bold new graphics, but either way, it's all welcome. The DRZ 4S comes with a yellow and white as well as a black seat, and there's even an all-gray version for those who kind of like the dark Spec Ops look. And the SM has a light blue and white option with blue rims. One small detail that they also added, which is a huge update from the previous one, but they could have maybe gone a little bit further on it, was the new LCD display. It is not color. Probably not a deal breaker for a lot of people as long as it's legible in daylight. I don't think many people will care. However, TFT displays, some of them large, some of them are small, are kind of becoming normal on a lot of bikes. Would have been really cool if they would have been able to include that, but it's really not a major problem. And all of this really comes down to, right, what is the feature pack for your price? Like what's the value that you're going to get out of this bike? The price as of this video is undetermined, or it's to be announced. We will update the text in this video when a price becomes available, we'll also update it in our article on this bike, which we will put a link to in the description. After years of waiting, the DRZ 4S and the 4SM kind of try to keep the best of the original design, like the lightweight, the true off-road geometry, but they've added a bunch of modernized touches that will make it more appealing for new or current riders, as long as the price is right? And if we were going to speculate about the price, right, the current DRZ 400 in the generation that's been here for 20 years or so, that's around $7,000 MSRP on their website. Considering how, long in the tooth that platform is, we would actually like to see that price be a little bit lower. If it can stay in at around $7,500 USD MSRP, we think it would be a really killer bike that a lot of people have been waiting for, and yet another fantastic addition to the mid-size dual sport market, which is raging on fire right now with a lot of other brands offering some fantastic options as well. But the new DRZ 4S may not exactly be the dream version of our bike, but it's definitely closer now than it ever was. If you would like to see what we conceptualized as a dream DRZ, then also check the link in our description about our concept bike, and that's what we really hope we'll see down the line from Suzuki. But that's it. I hope you guys are as pumped as we are. Hit like, subscribe, and all that algo stuff to keep up with all things ADV and more. Until next time, thanks for watching, ride safe, and have fun.